Hey guys, welcome to my channel and my very first video. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm Stormy, that's my real name. I have two little sisters, their names are Summer, Not, and Rain. And our parents are not hippies. It's kind of weird, and every single person my whole life, well not every person, but a lot of people, they always ask me, are your parents hippies? But, what else was I gonna say? Oh, okay, so my whole life, well not my whole life, but since I graduated from high school in 2010, I wanted to make a YouTube channel. Back then, I was like, I had this dream, I thought I was going to be famous when I posted this video. So you know when you go grocery shopping, but you don't have a car, and you've just moved to university, so you're taking the bus to get groceries, but you have to catch two buses to get back home, and it basically makes you not ever want to get groceries. You just want to order food in because it's such a hassle, and it's cold outside carrying all those groceries. So I had this great idea. I was going to take a suitcase to the grocery store, and then you just put all of your groceries in your suitcase, and then you take your suitcase on the bus. You only look weird when you're at the grocery store with a suitcase, but the people on the bus just think you're coming from the plane or something, and then you can just wheel everything home, and then you don't have to use one of those little baskets, you know, the little walker baskets, because why would you buy that when you already have a suitcase? Well, I hope you have a suitcase anyways. That was going to be my claim to fame, but I never made the video. And thinking about it now, I don't really know if that would have been my claim to fame. But if you don't have a car and you have to take the bus, you should take a suitcase. Let me know how it goes. Okay, so when I left my small hometown up north, I bought this camcorder. This is how I was going to make it famous on YouTube. Isn't it funny? Back then, our phones didn't even have cameras. So I got this, and the coolest part is this USB thing clips out. I was so impressed. And you got this nice little thing back here. I just found it in my stuff because I'm moving. And I was like, oh my god, I never actually really used this. It was called a flip cam. Well, I used it a couple times, but I never made any YouTube videos. I wish it worked so I could see what was still on it. Okay, so, anyways, back then I probably couldn't have given you any entertaining videos. I mostly just partied all the time. I felt like shit most of the time. I was kind of sleepy 24/7, had gut aches. It was probably constipated 24/7. I don't know, my health was just a mess. And it only got worse and worse as I went through university. And then when university ended, I don't even know how I made it through that. I think a lot of energy drinks. Luckily I wasn't a coffee drinker. I mean, I've tried to drink coffee, but it just tastes disgusting. You have to load it up with milk, well, plant-based milk now, and sugar for it to taste any good. It's kind of like wine. I tried to start liking wine, but does anyone really like wine? I just, it's been 5 years, and now I don't really drink anymore, so I've given up on trying to like wine, but whenever I drink it, I'm do I really like this, or do I just like the social setting? Anyways, when I graduated from university, I was I don't think normal people feel like this. Every day was a struggle. And luckily I'm optimistic, so I didn't feel I was depressed, but I had a gut aches all day long. Basically my stomach controlled my life. If I wanted to go to a party or an event that night, I had to not eat for hours before because I had no idea why I had stomach aches all the time. Sometimes I'd go to parties and then I'd have to leave. And when I was a kid, I remember biking down the street with my friend, falling off my bike. I was in such bad gut pain, having to get a bike back, get my parents to pick me up in their van and bring me home so I could spend the rest of the night on the toilet. It was not a good life. I left so many birthday parties when I was a kid too. I always had sinus infections and what was the other one? Tonsillitis. I got my tonsils removed. I had UTIs. I've just basically been in the doctors my whole life trying to figure out what's wrong with my stomach. They just give you laxatives or stuff for when you have diarrhea, and you're just taking all this medicine and you never really fix the problem. And then when I had all these sinus problems, they wanted me to take Nasonex every day and Reactin. And the only reason I didn't do it is because that shit's expensive. And I'm happy I didn't take it because I probably would have been addicted to taking Reactin and become dependent on it. I don't even know if that's a real thing. And by the way, if you're not from Canada, Reactin's kind of Claritin. Do you have Claritin in the US? I don't know. It's an allergy medicine that's non-drowsy. So anyways, back to the start. Okay, so I finished university and I was I don't know how I made it through. I'd see all my peers and they'd accomplish so much. They'd always have energy. I was always falling asleep in class. Didn't understand how anyone stayed awake. Then I was truly interested, but I could not fall asleep. remember one time I got a job and we were like doing our training at like this small little round table. There's like 8 of us, and like our boss is talking, and so my boss here, we're here, and then over here is like what do you call it, like the projector, the thing we're supposed to be looking at. But we're like looking at him, and I literally had to turn my head, which kind of looked rude, but I kept dozing off. Like I physically cannot stay awake. I used to fall asleep on chairs. One time I fell asleep like while watching my friend pressure wash at this big factory I used to work at. I'm like, okay, that's not doing my job. If she slipped, I'd have no idea because I was asleep. Like, how can you sleep when you're outside sitting up and it's so loud and there's like water everywhere? Anyways, that was just me. And the brain fog. The brain fog was so real. Like, I couldn't think. Like, you'd ask me, what did you do yesterday? And I'd be like, trying to like file through my brain to figure it out. It's kind of like, I don't know if you drink, but if you're ever really hungover and your brain's just foggy and you can't recall anything, you say dumb stuff all the time. That was me all the time, except it wasn't because I was hungover. I just felt like that. Okay, like sometimes I was hungover, but like most of the time I felt like that, and I would do dumb stuff, and I'd always hit my head getting into cars. Like it's like I had no spatial awareness. Like I jump up, bash my head over and over again. I hit my head on door frames. I didn't even realize that was like a thing that you could fix until I became healthier, and I realized I don't hit my head like every day. I always lose my keys. There was just so many things, but that was just like how I was, and I thought like that's how I would be forever. But I just wanted to, I don't know, I finished university and I was like, if I want to accomplish anything with my life, I have to feel good. Like no one gets out of bed every day and is just waiting to go to, well, I mean, people do, but I didn't want to like be waking up and waiting to go to bed. I didn't want to be like dictated by how my stomach felt. And so I went and saw a naturopath, and I started working with a naturopath, and then I did some sort of diet with her, and for 30 days my stomach was good. And then I eat like a piece of carrot cake, and then I felt absolutely like shit. Like, and then I felt sick for weeks, and I was like, what is happening? And that's when I first realized that food definitely impacts how you feel. So from then on, I kept like sticking with naturopaths, trying to figure out how to heal myself. Tried the paleo diet for a long time, and like it works a little bit, but I'd always resort back to wanting to eat carbohydrates because you can't eat that many carbohydrates. You can't have grains on there. You can't have legumes. I love legumes. Legumes are beans, in case you didn't know. Yeah, and then like one day I met this vegan girl. It's the second vegan I've ever met. There's no vegans up in like the hometown I'm from. It's really small. And she ate all this like colorful, really healthy looking food that tasted delicious. And she ate lots of fruit and stuff too. And I was like so afraid of fruit at this time. And I was just like, okay. Oh, actually what happened is that I became her best friend. And then we would have dinners together, and I would start being plant-based at home. I had no idea it would fix my stomach, but I just kind of liked what she ate. And touching like raw meat was kind of gross. Eventually, I started to eat more fruit, started introducing more grains, because it had hurt my stomach for years, but it was like a slow work up to it. And then one day, I moved in with this girl, and I was just randomly like, I'm going to go vegan too. I'm going to see if it works. I did not think it would work at all because, well, every single diet I've tried, I've never been able to maintain. They were so unsustainable. Like, sometimes you just want to eat a cookie, and you can't eat grains, and you can't eat carbs, you can't have this. So anyways, I tried to go plant-based, and it just stuck. And I think it's because I allowed myself to eat all these carbs that I wasn't allowing myself to eat before. Like, I'm not talking about like refined sugar, but like having fruit and having brown rice, just like simple things like that. And once I made the whole transition, my gut started to feel better, and it's like I could eat anything. And then a couple months in, I made like a swap from like, it was like binging on a lot of vegan desserts, like nut cheeses and nut-based desserts and just processed food. And I kind of made the swap to like a whole food plant-based diet. And I got so much better. My skin got clearer. I was having like chronic yeast infections for the last 2 years every month, which I don't know if you've had one, but I hope you never get one because they suck. And they went away. It's been almost 4 years now. Thank God. I thought I was gonna have to have them forever. And yeah, and my brain fog is gone. My stomach is fine. It's so amazing to like wake up and know that you're gonna feel good that day. Like, yeah, once in a while I might eat too much of like beans or like combine some food that shouldn't really go together and then get a gut ache. But it's once in a while. It's not every day, and it's not unexplainable. Once I got control of like realized what I was eating affected how I ate, like it's amazing. Like Okay, so now I'd like run a marathon, whereas before I could even think about exercising. All I wanted to do was watch Netflix. Your brain doesn't work, you feel shitty, people are telling you to do exercise, and you're like, I can't do exercise. Like, when I do exercise, I just want to go back to sleep. It doesn't give me more energy, but now it does. Now, because I have energy and I don't have brain fog and I don't have sinus infections and I guess I don't have tonsil infections because I got my tonsils removed, but I haven't been sick in a really long time. So anyways, I started this channel so that I can share about the power of a plant-based diet with you in case you feel like I used to feel. So yeah, you should like my video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out like occasional recipes or like teaching you how to build your own meals. Also going to talk about probably a lot of stories because I like to tell stories. We can call it story time with Stormy. Oh, and we can call our food Stormy Snacks. I had like a cousin and she used to always say, Stormy, you should make a Stormy Snacks book, but your snacks are so random because back then I like could not cook at all. Me and that same cousin made a dinner for some people and they're like, oh god, this is like one of those dinners where you leave feeling hungrier than when you got here. But I learned to cook over time. It's actually become really fun and I think you can do it too. And you actually save so much money when you start eating plant-based because, well, you eat out less. You can still eat out. There's so many great options nowadays. But if you buy like plant-based processed food, it's more expensive, but that's the same with regular processed food. You just shouldn't get it. Like, use it to treat yourself. Don't use it all the time. But yeah, my groceries are pretty cheap. What else? Oh yeah, hopefully on my channel, like down the road, I'll start doing interviews with other people that have changed their lives through a healthy plant-based lifestyle. Seriously, the best lifestyle. And you can eat smoothie bowls. Like, smoothie bowls are my favorite, especially because for years I was so afraid to eat fruit, and now I realize like fruit is actually a really nutrient. It's just really nutrient dense. It's perfectly packaged, and I have a smoothie bowl for breakfast almost every single day. Sometimes in the winter it's kind of cold, so I'll have oatmeal more than I want to have oatmeal, but like if I have to go outside and it's freezing and snowing, then I won't have a smoothie bowl. But I also made a free smoothie bowl guide with my sister. I'll pop it in the description down below if you want to have a look at it. And I'm also on Instagram along with my sister. Our Instagram is called The New Norm Co. because it's all about making new norms for yourself. I never ever thought that I would be vegan. Like, seriously, I didn't even know what the word meant until a couple of years ago. I did meet my first vegan like when I was on exchange in Australia, but back then I didn't know, like, I don't know, I was just like, oh, what is this? I don't know. I didn't look much into it. Didn't intrigue me at the time. Had no idea that the food that you can eat on a vegan diet can actually help heal your body. Depends what you're eating. There's like a lot of different ways to do vegan or plant-based. But yeah, I'm here to tell you that it's really good for your health. It helped me so much. And I probably would never have figured it out if it wasn't for my best friend and then coming across Earthy Andy's blog. I actually had a dream last night that I met her. It was really exciting. She invited me to go on vacation with her. Very, very random. But I read her About Me story and it just resonated with me so much because there was finally somebody who seemed healthy. Like, I looked healthy on the outside even though my hair was thin, I was wearing extensions. But I looked like a regular healthy girl, but I felt like shit. And then I read through Earthy Andy's story and she kind of went through the same thing, but then she figured out how to feel good. And if I hadn't come across that, I wouldn't have like believed so much in the diet, because you see your friends around you all the time and sometimes they're just eating really, I don't know, they eat whatever and they feel fine, or maybe they don't feel fine but they're not really in tune, but they don't feel as shitty as you do, so they don't get it, and you just like, I don't know, you feel like you're the only one, but you're not. There's tons of us out there, and it's just, take it as a sign. I mean, if you like start eating healthy now, you're gonna live a longer life, because if you go 10 more years feeling like how you're feeling, it's not gonna be good. And I just want to say, if I can do it, you can do it too. Like, I used to eat absolutely everything. My family called me the garbage can, because if you had any leftovers, you just gave it to me and I would eat it. And I've done that since I was a kid, and I don't know, it just never felt good. But once you feel kind of shit and you already have a gut ache, you're like, oh, whatever, I'll just shove in more food. I already have a stomach ache. Who cares if it gets worse? Oh yeah, I totally forgot to tell you. I put together a website. It's newnormco.com. I'll pop it in the description down below. And on there, I've got links to other resources that will help you think about, like, if you're interested in going plant-based, there's a lot of documentaries that I recommend that you can watch. Oh yeah, also on my website, I've got like the basics of how me and my youngest sister do plant-based diets. She went plant-based maybe last year. And then I also have another sister. She's really into fitness. So if you think that you can't be fit on a plant-based diet, you should check her out. Hers, I'll pop her in the bottom too. She's Summer Fun Fitness. She does crazy stuff, like handstands and like that thing where you like hold onto a pole and you like put your legs out. I think it's called the flag. Sometimes I watch her do something because I live with her right now, and I'll be like, oh my god, that looks so easy. Like one time she laid flat on the ground and lifted herself up into like a handstand. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, not possible. I don't even understand how the body works that way. But yeah, if you have any questions about protein or anything like that, I would send her a little message. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope that you come back to my channel and tell your friends, and see you next time.